Poland. And Hungary is just gonna join the Axis. As the Germans start pushing all the way to Warsaw, the Poland is gonna capitulate. And it's too late for Poles. Too late. The Germans are using Napoleon tactic to take down Warsaw so they can take over Poland. Again. And the Germans are trying to fight on the west. Preparing for all the fights against the Soviet Union. Even Leon Trotsky knows that. He knows that it's gonna happen. He knows, so that's why he's preparing his own army. 28 divisions are ready. 28 divisions against the German Reich. And any other divisions against all of this. The fall of Warsaw has begun. Poles are screwed. The Poles have capitulated. The Germans have other plans to do. To take down Brussels, at the Dutch, and the France. They have other things to do on the west. And then they're gonna take all the western countries for themselves. The Germans are trying to push all the way to the east. And it will not be good for them because there's like a World War I repeating scenario. But again, the Polish government in exile is still here and trying to fight with their spirit, fight with their honor, rebelled against the Axis, but what is the purpose? The Soviet Union is, well, it's trying its best to aid everything at its disposal. It's trying its best to rebuild anything that is not so bad about it. But again, the Soviet Union is just gonna win. And it's gonna be very good. The staging coup had started as the biggest thing in the Soviet Union. They are going to send all the staging coup so they can go against the German Reich. The preparations of it is beginning. The Scandinavia, the Norway had declared war on the Germany, as the Allies had still some of the Western sideboard of it. It's still unknown that the Allies are going to win without Soviet support. The Axis in Africa are still hugely competitive trying to win, but there's no way. The Allies have started pushing all the way through the west. Hitler is scared of it. The only way of Hitler is to push all the way to Paris. So he can capitulate to Paris, and then the entire of the Allies can be surrounded. As the Germans start progressing over to France, the France is fucked. In matter of second, if a French capital is captured, the entire France will surrender. There's no way. The Germans are just gonna push all the way towards Paris. To capitulate Paris the same way like Napoleon tactics. So the only thing is that Germany is now trying to retake their lands and not repeat the same thing what they did to World War I. While Trotsky all of a sudden is trying to spread communist revolution in Turkey, Yugoslavia, the fall of Paris have happened. There is no way for French people to fight anymore. As the French fall, the entire Germany is starting to advance. The entire Germany saw that when the French capital fall, the French soldiers will have no chance. Their morale will fail. The France will basically capitulate. Surrenders and sign an armistice. UK is gonna fight alone. But not that alone, since Trotsky is in charge. He will be the one to join the Allies. He will be the one. It's all over for the French. The Vichy government was puppeted as another Axis member. The Germany is still fighting the Western Front. And again, it shows the weakness of Germany and their incompetence of fighting. Their main weaknesses was to just be afraid of the Western Front, to not go to the Berlin. That was their main scare. But now they're just focusing on Dutch, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, and Norway. They were not going to the east because they're so scared of the Soviet Union being ready for all of it. The French resistance is fighting over Africa. They're still a good thing. And the Luxembourg has capitulated. Some pockets of resistance are still fighting in. But what's the point? It's all over. It's all over for everything of the West. Everything is gonna fail. But good thing that Britain is just an island. Otherwise, everything would be failed. If it wasn't. Belgium is over. The Dutch are the next ones that are gonna fail. The west side of it is lost. It's completely lost. The Germany annihilated every Allied resistance. But the Dutch still had a chance to go to Berlin, even though it's too late. The Soviet Union is still preparing itself for the Great War. And the Great War will begin. It will. Trotsky was ready for all of this. Trotsky prepared himself for all of this. Netherlands has capitulated. All the Western countries are dead. From this side on, it's gone. The Denmark and Norway are the next countries that are going to fall. But the Soviet Union is ready. They have been preparing for centuries and centuries for the German Reich. They're going to prepare for more. As the Soviets start producing T-34 and KAV-1, the Russians are ready for everything. Including Trotsky preparedment was leading everything into goodness. As the Copenhagen fails, the entire Danish fails. There was no way for Denmark to survive this slaughter. They had a small army. What will be the purpose of it? And Denmark has capitulated. And Norway is next. The Soviet Union is still having a preparation for war. But it's still not joining. But it's preparing. for a war. The UK is alone surrounded with Norway, having naval battles against Germany. Hitler is trying, and he have taken over Norway. Churchill was appointed to become a prime minister, even though the non-aggression pact was signed for the British. The Soviet Union is still preparing for a war effort. They don't want to go at war with Germany, but they're preparing for war. It will still be about Soviet revolution in all those countries that, you know. But Hitler still turned his tail into a north. He's just turning all the way to UK. He is still paranoid how he lost the war in Spain and how he didn't manage to win against the Republic in Spain. The stateful coup was succeeded. The two Bulgarias existed. And the Soviet Union decided to declare war on the other Bulgaria and ask a military alliance and offer a military alliance. Non-aggression pact and improved relations with the communist Bulgaria. The Soviet Union, also known as USSR, decided to advance to enemy Bulgaria and try to improve relations with the Greek government, because they saw that Greeks was trying its best to somehow be attacked by the Bulgarians. The Soviets, on this other hand, are trying to help the Greeks, and it doesn't matter to effect. The Soviets start pushing the best they can. The other Turkish government was created. The Soviets are trying to liberate all of its lands and glory to Bulgaria, the different Bulgaria. The Bulgaria that is basically the true Bulgaria, not the ones that are trying to take over Greece. And once and for all, the communism is spreading. Trotsky permanent revolution is done. Norway has capitulated. The Germans have everything. They are trying to invade the UK. That will be their next task to do it. The Turks are not giving any chances, but the Soviets are still taking over and trying to fight the Turks. The things are getting so on. The Soviets keep pushing on to Turkey. The other Turkey will be puppeted. The thing is starting to get real, but one day Yugoslavia will have a civil war, and it will be dreadful. The African campaign is not going so well, and especially for UK because it was surrounded by two sides. But again, thanks to those stupid Germans, they keep losing, and Soviets will help the UK. They will join the Allies. The Soviet-Russian Navy is attacking the Turks. The Turks are losing. Many ships of the Turks are being decimated, destroyed. The same battle has been. The Soviets were ready because they have a massive fleet. Huge fleet that were prepared for long